When the narcissist turns people against you. Imagine this. You're involved with a narcissist, and at first, everything seems fine. Perhaps you're friends, family members, or even in a romantic relationship. The narcissist is charming, confident, and flattering, always making you feel special and important. But then, out of nowhere, you start noticing a subtle shift. Friends, family, or even colleagues start treating you differently. They seem to distance themselves from you, or worse, they start criticizing you, questioning your motives, or turning their backs on you. What happened? 1 minute, everything was fine, and the next, it feels like the people around you have been turned against you. If you've ever felt this shift, it's not a coincidence. This is one of the most insidious tactics employed by narcissists, turning people against you. They can manipulate and distort the perception of others to the point where even those closest to you question your character, your actions, or your integrity. It's a calculated move, and it can be emotionally devastating for the person who's on the receiving end of it. But how does a narcissist pull this off? And why is it so effective? In this video, we'll dive deep into the mind of a narcissist and explore the various methods they use to manipulate the people around you. We'll uncover the psychology behind why narcissists engage in such behavior and provide you with a roadmap to recognize the signs before it's too late. Stay tuned until the end to understand the full impact of this tactic and how you can protect yourself from falling victim to it. Before we start, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with anyone you think may benefit from understanding the toxic behaviors of narcissists. If you've ever been targeted by a narcissist or found yourself in a situation where others seem to turn against you for no apparent reason, you need to watch this video until the end. The narcissist is a master of manipulation, and one of their most damaging tactics is the ability to divide and conquer. At the core of a narcissist's behavior is a need for constant validation and control. They thrive on being the center of attention, and if they perceive that someone else is receiving admiration, affection, or even basic respect, they feel threatened. Their fragile ego cannot tolerate competition. So, when a narcissist feels threatened by your relationships with others, they will stop at nothing to turn those people against you. The first step in this process is often subtle. The narcissist begins by sowing seeds of doubt. They might make offhand comments about your character or actions, casting doubt in the minds of the people around you. For example, they may subtly imply that you're selfish, manipulative, or untrustworthy. These comments are often framed as concerns or just asking questions, which makes it harder for others to spot them as manipulation. Over time, these doubts accumulate, and people start to question whether you're really as they thought you were. A common tactic the narcissist uses is triangulation. This occurs when the narcissist brings in a third party, another person, to validate their side of the story and further undermine you. For instance, they may talk to your friends or family members about your behavior, sharing distorted or exaggerated versions of events to portray you as the problem. They might say things like, "I'm really worried about how they're treating me," or "You've seen how they act when they don't get their way right." By positioning themselves as the victim, they make it seem like they're simply responding to your faults or shortcomings. But triangulation doesn't end with just one person. Narcissists are skilled at creating a web of alliances around them. They will recruit others to further their agenda, building a network of people who see you through their distorted lens. This can be especially damaging in close-knit social circles or families, where everyone starts to view you as the outsider or the villain, even if you've done nothing wrong. The more people the narcissist enlists in their campaign against you, the harder it becomes to defend yourself or maintain your position in those relationships. Another tactic that narcissists use when turning people against you is gaslighting. This term refers to the act of manipulating someone into questioning their own reality. When a narcissist begins to feel threatened by your relationships, they'll engage in gaslighting behaviors to make you doubt your perception of events. They might twist facts, deny things they've said or done, or make you feel like you're overreacting or being unreasonable. Over time, you might start to wonder if you're the problem, especially when the narcissist presents themselves as calm, rational, and in control while making you appear irrational or unstable. The silent treatment is another powerful tool in the narcissist's arsenal. When they feel like they're losing control or when their manipulation tactics aren't working, they may withdraw completely. This abandonment forces you to seek their attention and approval, and if they are successful in turning others against you, you may feel completely isolated. The silent treatment not only punishes you, but also creates an opening for the narcissist to gain sympathy from others by presenting themselves as the victim who has been wronged by your behavior. It's important to recognize that the narcissist's goal is not simply to damage your relationships, but to discredit you entirely. They aim to reshape how others perceive you, often casting you as toxic, controlling, or emotionally unstable. The narcissist wants to be the one everyone turns to for validation and support, and by turning others against you, they'd reinforce their dominance in the relationship dynamic. The emotional toll this takes on you can be profound. You might feel confused, betrayed, or isolated as the narcissist works behind the scenes to discredit you. And because narcissists are so skilled at manipulating perceptions, it can be difficult to convince others of what's really going on. Even if you try to explain the situation, the narcissist has already planted enough seeds of doubt that it becomes hard for others to see the truth. In many cases, the narcissist's smear campaign is so effective that you might be labeled as the problem, even though you're the one who's been mistreated. What happens when the narcissist has successfully turned people against you? They often continue to reap the rewards of their manipulation. They may enjoy the attention, the sympathy, or the validation from their supporters, further fueling their need for control. And the worst part is, the narcissist may never take responsibility for their actions. They will continue to play the victim, even as they manipulate and distort the truth. So, what can you do if you find yourself in a situation where a narcissist has turned people against you? The first step is to recognize the behavior for what it is. Understanding the narcissist's tactics, whether it's triangulation, gaslighting, or the silent treatment, can help you detach from the emotional manipulation. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and share your side of the story, but be prepared for the narcissist to continue their smear campaign. It's important to surround yourself with people who genuinely support you and who can see through the narcissist's manipulations. Another key point is to protect your emotional well-being. Narcissists thrive on causing confusion and chaos, but by staying calm, clear-headed, and grounded, you can avoid falling into their traps. Trust in your own judgment and your own truth, even if others are being manipulated into seeing things differently. Finally, remember that the narcissist's tactics are not about you. They're about their need for control, validation, and superiority. If you find yourself isolated, be aware that this is exactly what they want. It's a power play designed to make you feel alone and helpless. But by understanding how narcissists operate, you can regain your sense of power and rebuild the relationships that matter to you. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this breakdown of how narcissists turn people against you helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with anyone who may need this information. If you've been dealing with a narcissist, know that you're not alone. With the right tools and understanding, you can break free from their manipulation and take back control of your life. Stay strong, protect your peace, and remember, you are not the problem. Emotionally abusive narcissists will lose their minds if empaths do these 10 things. Have you ever wondered how narcissists react when an empath begins to see through their manipulations? It's a powerful moment, a moment when the dynamic between these two personalities shifts completely. Narcissists, who thrive on control, manipulation, and emotional dominance, are often used to getting their way. But what happens when an empath, a person highly attuned to emotions and often deeply compassionate, starts to set boundaries and push back? Well, the narcissist loses it. In this video, we're going to explore the 10 things empaths can do that will drive narcissists absolutely crazy, shattering their emotional control and turning the tables. You won't believe how these simple shifts in behavior can completely dismantle the narcissist's power. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. If you're an empath who's had your fair share of dealing with narcissistic abuse, or you're just curious about how to protect yourself from these emotional vampires, you're in the right place. Stick around for the full breakdown and you'll learn how to take back control. The narcissist's need for control. To understand why the following actions drive narcissists into a frenzy, we need to first understand how their minds work. Narcissists are deeply insecure individuals who build their entire identity around the need for constant validation. They can only feel good about themselves when they have control over others, specifically when they can manipulate others into seeing them as perfect, superior, or entitled. Emotional abuse is a tool narcissists use to maintain this control. Whether it's through gaslighting, silent treatment, or outright emotional manipulation, they rely on others' emotional dependence to feel superior. Empaths, on the other hand, are individuals who are highly sensitive to the emotions of others. They are naturally compassionate, intuitive, and caring, often going out of their way to help others. This makes them easy targets for narcissists who rely on their ability to empathize to maintain control. The more an empath gives, the more the narcissist demands, and over time, this creates an unhealthy, toxic cycle. However, the power dynamic shifts when an empath begins to take back control. When an empath stops tolerating manipulation and begins to set boundaries, the narcissist, who is used to getting their way, experiences something terrifying: losing control. And for a narcissist, losing control is worse than anything else. They can't stand it. 10 things empaths can do to drive narcissists wild. Now, let's get into the 10 things an empath can do that will drive a narcissist crazy. The things that make them lose their minds because they can no longer manipulate or control you. Each one of these actions is a subtle shift in behavior that, when done consistently, will make the narcissist realize they no longer have the upper hand. Let's explore what happens when an empath begins to regain control. 1. Set boundaries and stick to them. The first thing an empath can do that will drive a narcissist wild is setting boundaries and sticking to them. Narcissists hate boundaries because they restrict their ability to manipulate and control others. An empath who sets clear, firm boundaries not only stops the narcissist from crossing lines, but also demonstrates that they are not willing to tolerate abusive behavior anymore. When an empath enforces these boundaries, it shakes the narcissist's sense of control. They may try to push back, test the limits, or guilt-trip the empath, but if the empath holds firm, the narcissist will begin to lose their grip on the relationship. For the narcissist, this is unsettling because it challenges their sense of dominance. 2. Stop responding to their manipulations. Narcissists thrive on attention, and they thrive even more on manipulating others to get that attention. Whether it's through guilt, shame, or emotional outbursts, narcissists will constantly test their ability to control their victims. However, when an empath begins to stop responding to these manipulations, by remaining calm, composed, and emotionally distant, it completely unravels the narcissist's ability to maintain their emotional hold. Narcissists expect a reaction, and when they don't get one, they feel powerless. The empath who stops reacting doesn't give the narcissist the fuel they need to continue their emotional abuse, and this makes them furious. Their control is slipping, and they know it. 3. Refuse to engage in their drama. Narcissists love to create chaos and drama. It's a way to divert attention from their own insecurities and maintain a sense of power over others. When an empath refuses to engage in this drama, the narcissist is left with nothing but their own emotional turmoil. If an empath calmly walks away from heated arguments or refuses to get involved in petty conflicts, it drives the narcissist insane. Narcissists need conflict to feel validated, and when the empath doesn't participate, they feel isolated and powerless. This rejection of the narcissist's emotional manipulation becomes one of the most effective tools an empath can use to neutralize the narcissist's influence. 4. Stop people-pleasing. Empaths are naturally inclined to people-please. They often want to make others happy, even at the expense of their own well-being. But when an empath stops people-pleasing and starts prioritizing their own needs, it challenges the narcissist's belief that they can manipulate and control others. Narcissists rely on people-pleasers to feed their egos, and when the empath no longer gives in to this behavior, it forces the narcissist to confront